Hello, hello, hello. Come on in, come on in. Wait for people to get the notification. Let me know. Oh, I see somebody in the comments. Hey, Happy Mac. Good morning. Let me get that. I take this thing off my screen. You try all these new things and then you don't know what you're doing. Oh, there it is. You cut it off. All right, guys. I'll wait for people to come in. Let them know that we're live. I was a little later today. I was getting some food prep for the week for lunch. So I got that done. So I figured I'll finish that first before I go live because I need to get my meal prepping done. I'm trying to get back my fitness, get some weight down. And when you have your food prepared, you stick to the plan versus eating out. So that's what we're talking about, the food guide. So we'll talk about that in a bit. Let me share it out myself. We had a big storm on Thursday. Oh my goodness. It's still pretty bad in terms of the sidewalks and stuff. Some areas weren't plowed yet. We are plowed, but the snow is through the roof. And my front roof line, the snow is going to fall off at any minute now. So I hope it falls off when I'm not there so that I can not get hit in the head with a big pile of snow. It's just hanging over. So I might get a long stick and knock it down myself, but we shall see. So hold on, let me share. Give me a second. Absolutely, those. I'm telling you, the food pyramid. I'm gonna say the food guide. Food pyramid. Give me a second. There we go. Oop, wrong. What am I doing? I'm posting under the wrong account. Let me cancel that. I was doing my workout this morning, so I was under my other account. 1 second. Now I cause a whole big problem. Let me take this down. I didn't even know I could post under that account. I don't even have any if I have an account. Good morning, the Bud file. Sorry. Let me just get into the right account on my phone so I can share this out so that people can see the live. Let me see here. Find it. And then we'll start the discussion. Morning, Tammy. Yeah, just give me a second to share it out, and then I'm going to stop staring at my phone. Okay, so I sent it out. That's done. Okay, let me keep up with the chat now. And then I will drop the link. So good morning to Bud Files, Tammy. It's supposed to be cold next week, but it can't last forever. I started my WIG 2025 in January the 17th, 16th, 17th. I have one more unit to start. I'm on a roll today, so I'm feeling good, and I got to just go with it. Sometimes you're just, I wouldn't say you're lazy, but you just didn't prioritize certain things. You just, So I got last night and this morning, I'm just going. So I can start the day off right. And then as you kind of slow down, I can say I accomplish a few things. So I got, good morning, Bayou. I got, when my main unit started with 8 seedlings. It's a 12 unit, 12 pod, but I don't use all 12. But I might put a few more in there today to still catch the day one because I can transplant them quickly. So I might just add some more of the same 2 plants. So I have eggplant and bok choy. The other sprout, the mini sprout arrow garden, is 3 pods. So I did the mini bok choy, which you'll see in the video. I'm going to try to go and get that edited today to get that up. And the other 12 pod unit I'm going to start my Lacia peppers, and I'm not sure what else. I haven't decided yet, but I haven't planted peppers in there before. But I'm going to try using the aero garden or the hydroponic to start the seedlings, then transplant them into the soil, and then start another batch to kind of catch up with my WIG. And I do want to get more eggplants going because I did not get any harvest last year. The squirrels ruined it, the weather. So I'm going to try to start them extra early, which is now. February is early enough, but let me just give it an extra boost and see if I can get them going so that when they go outside in May, they'll start flowering. So let me know how you guys are doing with your indoor growing. It's not cold. Well, to me, it's not cold. For some of you from the south, you'll be freezing, but it's cool, moderate. You put on a warm jacket, but you're not like bundled up. You can have your jacket kind of open with a sweater and warm pants on. Um, my heat's not on overly high today. It's just okay. I'm okay. The chickens are out and about. Yes, the snowstorm, they were like, I think they were in the house all day, in their chicken house all day. I didn't see any food when I went out at lunch eaten up, so I just put half of it away. They were just, the snow was in the tunnel, so they had to walk over it. So they were just, but the older girls know about snow, so they should have been more comfortable. But chickens are dumb. They follow each other. If one person's, oh my God, the sky is falling, they're all scared. When they've been through it before, they should know what it is. Today, I kind of pushed them out into the tunnel. They turned back, so I pushed another one out, and then she just kept going. So they followed her. So they're outside because they can't be in that chicken house. It's too small, and they're going to peck at each other, which they were. So they're okay. I prepped the night before of the storm. I filled their water, their 5-gallon water, with 2 more gallons of water, so it was almost full. That heating belt on my chicken bucket is a game changer. I have a short on that, but I have to keep talking about it. It's a game changer. If you are in a cold climate and you have, even not chickens, any other chickens, whatever animal you have, it's easier on you to be filling it that way versus the other one. You got to put a funnel in it, and it's just annoying. And you're handling cold water in the freezing cold. One year I cut my finger on it. I didn't even feel it. Just saw blood in the snow. I'm like, oh my God, I had to put my hand in the snow as ice. It was just ridiculous because your hands were so cold you didn't even feel it. But anyways, that's that. So the snow's melting. Hopefully that the roof line, it'll fall off so that I can just shovel out the way because it's just hanging over and it could fall on my head when I'm going in and out the door. Morning, Sam. In the bushes. Okay. So today we're talking about the food pyramid. I'm just hearing all kind of foolishness about this food pyramid. And I'm watching the news and even the talk shows. Like, it's just, to me, it's just stupid how they're reacting to it. It was right side up. It was right side up, my glasses. And now it's upside down. Like, nothing really changed in terms of the content of it. It's the same. But they're having all these I can't trust this and trust that. So this comedic guy on Instagram, I'm sure some of you have seen it. I thought he was on The View, the TV show, but it's like he's maybe doing a split. I don't know how he's doing it because it looks like he's on the panel with them, but he's probably not. And he's talking back to them, and he's saying stuff. Basically, he showed the previous health minister, or I think whoever you call them, and they're showing the new one, the JFK is Robert F. Kennedy, sorry. And they're showing the difference between even the fitness of the two health ministers. And he's like, I would follow the new one now. He's 70 something years old and look how fit he is. And the other one is obese. So it was just funny, a funny skit, and I was laughing at it. But what do you think about the pyramid? It doesn't bother me either way. I think it does make sense upside down. And the reason I'm saying that is this. With the research, because sometimes people need to have everything over explained and analyzed, and to the point that it's irritating. I think it's better to have it upside down because they've come to realize, and many doctors, not just American, I'm talking doctors across the globe, especially the ones that have social media platforms, and they discuss things on their channel, or they do podcasts and they go around to other channels and discuss things, have noticed that the Insulin resistance is a serious problem. And a lot of the health issues, and again, this is not medical advice. Let me put that on my screen before um, someone comes with their foolishness. Um, they understand that this is the root cause for a lot of health issues. You can look it up yourself and follow some of the doctors and see their videos that go into proper medical explanations. Insulin resistance is a problem, and that is, they always say sugars, but it's a lot of it's from carbohydrates. So has anybody else heard that? The carbohydrates, um but the look, okay, messes, yes. I don't think they did it. I don't like the layout of the new food pyramid because like the meat and the greens are on top, but somebody else said like they're not really going into the proportions of it. So maybe they don't want to go into the proportions because you can decide that for yourself. And if you don't eat meat, you can find other forms of protein. I think they should have maybe put that up there as well. Other forms of protein that are nutritious, that are good, that can give you enough of your macros and may not be meat. But I guess they're saying if you don't eat meat, you go to the grains and the nuts and the seeds. Like just a bit more clarity, but they probably think it's clear enough to start you off on your own journey. You're going to eat however you want to eat. That's the long and short. You're going to eat what you want to eat. Did I drop the link, but I don't know if I cut it off. Let me make sure no, it's all there. So I don't have a problem with it. I'm surprised at the reaction, but let's me read the chat here. I had thought that I was the only one that had noticed that. No. Yes, it makes much more sense, but the look messes. Yeah, I think they need to clean up the look of the pyramid. But grains are linked to insulin resistance. Too much grains. Now, it's not just grains, it's the type of grain. So we have to be specific, but in generalities, breads and cookies and danishes and all those things. But the pyramid is focusing, from what I saw and what I've seen a lot of the news broadcasts that are against it and are criticizing it. They're trying to get you to eat whole foods, whole ingredients, one ingredient foods, as some people might call it, like simple ingredients, things of that nature. And there's a lot of people who are diabetic in the US. I'm going to just say the US because that's where this is coming from, and that's where they analyze. Dr. Oz is on there. They're discrediting Dr. Oz. But you have to remember, he's an older gentleman and he's still fairly healthy. So obviously what he's doing seems to be working. The health minister is also in his 70s and he's also fairly healthy. If you just look at that alone, those are the kind of individuals that you may want to listen to. They're not going to get everything right because you have your own health issues, your own health history, but it would stand to reason that if they're healthy at their age, and the youth and the young people and the childhood obesity rates, diabetes rates, cholesterol, blood pressure, the C word is up. People are getting, all forms of those things, have to have chemo. If you're seeing that happening, then obviously what we're doing is not working. And then when you go back into time, what they were doing was not causing any of these current health issues. So it stands to reason that something has to change. Let me see here. I'm ditching grains for the most part. They're GMO now and full of glyphosates. I'll grow my. Yes, I'm ditching it, but not all the way. I'm trying to find. It's expensive just to buy a healthy, what would kind of be a healthy bread to make. I like to have toast with my avocado toast and like some eggs. It's difficult to find a bread that doesn't have some of the ingredients that we're trying to avoid. And glyphosates is a chronic problem. I wish, hey, morning, Erica. I wish we had better options than as before, but we don't. What do you guys look for in your bread? First of all, I'm looking for bread that does not have enriched flour. Enriched flour has been stripped of all its nutrients and then they add it back. And those synthetic additions, I did not realize were problematic to our health. You're better off having the whole grains and making bread from that. So what do you guys look for in bread, sorry, and in your baked goods? Because I don't think anybody can do without baked goods. We like bread. We like sometimes a dinner roll. We like danishes. I like a croissant here and there. But what are you looking for? Or what brands do you see in your stores? Yes, the wheat that is in almost everything is high on the glycemic index, and a lot of people who have celiac can't eat American wheat product. I've seen that a lot lately. They can eat European products, but they can't eat um, North American wheat. Good morning, Carbon Q. But perfectly fine when they eat it. That's what I'm saying. I have never grown wheat. I don't think it's something I want to do in my small garden. I don't think I have the capacity to really make a dent, but I will buy it in bulk from I wish we had Azure Standard here or something. I think they kind of do. I think they somebody gets a huge shipment, but you have to pre-order with them, and I think it is possible from what I heard. A small group does that in Ontario and then you got to go pick it up, but you got to pre-order with them, then they put in the order and then someone goes and gets this huge truck and picks it up and you got to pick it up. I think you got to pay a little extra for that service, but um and even I told you guys this before, but I'll say it again. If you put your bread in the fridge and you forget about it at the back of the fridge and you take it out months and months later, the bread may be hard and stale, like when it gets tough, but it's not going to be moldy. It doesn't deteriorate. It doesn't go bad. So what is it? What's happening when we eat these breads? It's crazy. Um, Let me see here. We do have a bakery that uses organic grain, but $9 a loaf is beyond what I will shell. You see, $9 a loaf. That's a lot. I have to pay sometimes $4 to $5. Sometimes that's a lot, but I do it. But I make sure basically I have one slice a day, and I have to have something else on my plate to fill me up for breakfast. And okay, bayous in the bushes. It's expensive. And it's expensive if you're buying it already made. If you make it yourself, which many of us don't really have the time for. I'm trying to incorporate more bulk cooking in my house and just prepare it, like even the dough. You know how you make pizza dough and you freeze it and then you knead it out and bake it upon, you making a pizza. Maybe even that, making the dough ahead of time, but I can't keep up with the making bread from scratch. Dang, I make I'm gonna start. Yeah, I know you can make bread from other things besides grains. I know, plant-based people use like lentils to make flatbread, and they make like a tortilla that they can use to like make sandwiches or wraps. I'm gonna try that because they just blend the lentils raw with water, and then they fry it like a pancake. There's other things to do, but it's still time consuming. It's still time consuming. I don't think anybody can keep up with that. Eating high quality bread with how much it costs. So $5 is a half decent price. Sometimes I get it for $3. It's the German kind from the German bakery, which is like rye bread. It's not very tasty. It's not spongy. It's an acquired taste, but I like it, especially when you put like your fried egg, your seasonings. I put avocado, and you put that Trader Joe's sprinkling, the everything bagel seasoning, that on there. It doesn't bother me, but some kids might not like it. But you're gonna have to change your taste buds. There's no two ways about it. But bread is a problem. I have been watching a lot of people on Instagram in the last few weeks because I'm trying to change my diet. So I changed my diet again, and I'm eating more towards a blood type diet. So I was eating more going towards a plant-based diet, but my blood type's like, no, you're supposed to be eating more organ meat, kidney, liver, heart, like all the meat stuff. So I've been doing beef liver tablets. I've been doing sardines, mackerel as well. Those gave my omegas. And honestly, I am feeling better. The inflammation that I was getting is not what it was. So that has been a game changer for me. I wasn't going in that direction, but here I go. I buy my ground beef. I bought it from a farm. So I have a few left, but after that, I don't have any more. So I'm going to be eating probably the Costco, the organic ground meat that they have, because I'm just trying to keep my lunches simple. I'm doing taco bowls. So it's either like taco bowl, which is like with sweet potatoes. I'll use the Japanese potatoes. I'll use romaine lettuce. Like it's a salad or it's like a bowl, but I'm not really doing rice as much. I did rice for Christmas. But even rice, you can make rice with different things. Like you can use, some people use bulgur, some people are using other grains from ancient grains. Takes a little longer to cook, but it tastes great, and you're not going to get that sugar spike. That's important to me because if you're trying to lose weight, this insulin resistance has to be taken care of. I had to cut out bakery items because of the pre-diabetes, but I'm definitely willing to try making something out of lentils. It'll be nice and savory. Yeah, they're making tortillas out of in flatbreads, and it looks good. And they made it out of sweet potato as well. And they don't use flour. Sometimes they use almond flour. There's all kind of recipes. You go on social media and somebody will, you Google it, put it in, and someone's video will pop up. That's what I'm working on: insulin resistance, inflammation, and protein. Because I was reading this lady who's talking about a lot of women don't eat enough protein, and then you're wondering why you're not getting the results, and you're eating, but then you're hungry, and then you're eating the wrong things because you're hungry. But if you made your breakfast with all the nutrients and enough protein as it was for your size and your weight and your macros, you wouldn't be picking and stacking so much. So I was eating 2 eggs. Now I'm eating 3 eggs, 3 boiled eggs or three, and it may be a lot of food, but I'm not snacking. I had my breakfast. I'm good. I had one slice of toast, sometimes two. I have the fat, which is the avocado. Um, I have a hot drink, and my hot drink is usually whatever the hot drink is, whether it's like a coffee, a decaf coffee, or a tea. I'm putting bone broth powder in to the cup as well. So I'm getting that added nutrients and protein. I was doing Greek yogurt, but then on my blood type it said don't have yogurt, don't have dairy. So I'm doing chia seed puddings for, and also fiber. The last the last link I was seeing was this one lady talking about fiber. So she's using different grains to add fiber into her meal. And that's another reason why some of us, we're not losing the weight, because we're not getting enough fiber to keep us full. Then we're snacking. Then that pre and probiotic that the fiber gives to our body, we're not getting it. And then the sugar spikes are going up and down extremely because the fiber would have slowed it down and kept you level, and we're all over the place. Um, Hold on, let me catch up to the chat. Toasted onion rye bread and it's a slice of heaven. I do like the bread they make with onion, sometimes garlic, and sometimes with I like me some cheese. I shouldn't have cheese, but I have cheese. Whoops, hold on, I pressed the wrong button. I'm not eating enough to burn off what I need to see the difference when working out. I'm not are you eating are you guys doing intermittent fasting? That's what I'm kind of doing. I didn't. Yeah, bone broth powder is what I've been using in everything. If I make hot chocolate, I'm putting bone broth powder in there. And no, you can't really taste it. Um, Especially when you get the one that's like chocolate or vanilla. Even if it's not flavored, you put, your hot chocolate powder, you put your bone broth powder. I always put some MCT powder or MCT oil, but the oil is very greasy. Like it's like you're gonna get greasy. And I use my frother and I froth it up with some either plant-based milk. Sometimes I even use half and half, and then I add the hot water to it, and then I add a pinch of sea salt sometimes if it tastes a little like it needs a little more. And then if it needs a little more sweetening, then that's where you have to decide how much you want to put in for yourself. You can use a pump of syrup, you can use maple syrup, you can use stevia, you can use monk fruit, whatever ones that you prefer, whatever you prefer, honey, you do it to your taste. But at least you're getting more protein in your drink. The only thing I don't think I like bone broth powder. No, it even tastes good with tea. I had it with green tea. I had it with dandelion root tea because that's like a coffee. Just find your combos that you like and put the bone broth. I'm telling you. So when I have that in the morning, I have my breakfast at about 10-ish. If I can hold off till 11, I try. And then I'm not hungry. And if you put enough protein in the drink, you're okay. I don't really have smoothies in the morning. I'll have them kind of at lunch, early lunchish, but I'll have actual fruit. I'll have banana. I'll have what's it called? Persimmons. I have a dragon fruit there to eat this morning. That's my last one. Pomegranate, whatever fruit that I am in the mood for, I'll have a fruit to get the fiber. Um, but I'm telling you, it's making a difference. I think so, Erica. I think you need to add more fiber and protein because I thought 2 eggs was enough, and the lady's like, "That's not enough," especially at our age. We're not getting enough protein. The sugar spikes are bad enough, but on top of that, we also have the hormonal issue. That's exactly what I'm dealing with, which is why I was getting trigger thumb, but it's gotten much better. And the shoulder, some women get frozen shoulder in perimenopause. I'm like, no, 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 no. This has got to stop. Yeah, they make flavored bone broth powder. So I've seen vanilla and I've seen chocolate, and I think sometimes I saw ginger turmeric one. I used to take that one and I stopped, not because I don't like it, but because the chocolate one and vanilla was just, only thing I don't like about the powder is when you, whatever brand you buy, when you open the carton, it's half of it's full of air. I don't know why they do that, but it's ridiculous. Or you can buy the bone broth liquid. I don't wanna bother buy the liquid. I don't think it's cost effective. It's better for you to make your own bone broth, and then those of you who pressure can it yourself or put it in the freezer and take it out in portions. I am looking for beef bacon, Carbon, and I can't find it over here. I am done with pork for a while now, and I'm more vocal about it. So people are like, "Oh," I go, "No, I don't eat pork anymore. I don't do pork." They're like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah, I don't do it." And now that I'm digging deeper into the pork, even my supplements, I'm like, "What the hell?" Because gelatin, if it doesn't say bovine, which is beef, you don't know what kind of gelatin they're using in your supplement. So I'm being more particular with what I'm using. But they do make flavored bone broth powder. Um, I believe the amazing Amazon has it. I bought it there once, but not anymore. Not because of the product, but because that platform is known to have fraudulent shipments or counterfeit shipments. So I'm going to an actual store, hoping that I don't get counterfeit. So your grocery stores that have the health food. So for you guys have Publix, Kroger, Whole Foods. Um, I don't know any other stores offhand. I don't know if Tops would have that kind of stuff, but maybe they do. Your vitamin shops. We have something called Healthy Planet. I think you have Healthy Planet too, and another shop that I know of. And I think there's this iHerb. iHerb. I shop from them because they only deal with that, and I would trust them more with my supplements than the other platform. There's people who make the packaging look exactly the same, and then the people in the warehouse themselves can't tell things apart from which vendors, and you get whatever. So just be mindful of where you're buying it. Um, yeah, I'm sure the grocery stores have it as well. They're carrying this stuff because people who are paleo and all these kind of diets, they're heavily using that. I would definitely 150% recommend bone broth powder, especially as a lady. If you're in that age group and you're not getting enough protein and you need those minerals, especially for the joint and the inflammation, as well as to keep you from having those insulin spikes. Definitely, I would incorporate that in your morning, your first, whatever you drink in the morning. If it's coffee, even better, because the coffee taste won't be deterred. You'll still taste like coffee. Um, and add your MCT, whether it's the oil or the powder. That is gonna. I've been doing that for several years. I stopped with the bone broth powder, and I was using collagen. I still use collagen, but collagen is not the same as the bone broth. There's a complete difference. I didn't really notice at first, but I did begin to notice. I'm like, hmm. And it's the bones are the bones. The collagen is from the skin. So you're not getting what you were getting in the bone broth powder. So if you're doing collagen, still do collagen, but put the bone broth in there as well. You're getting different nutrients, different minerals. But I need to find some I know they have beef bacon. I just can't find it. I think there's a butcher that I was looking up recently. I have to go to a butcher, not the grocery store for that over here. Everything over here seems to be so much pork, it's ridiculous. And I'm looking for a breakfast sausage. Again, that's beef. I don't like the chicken and the turkey bacon. I had a bad experience with both. The bad experience is that if you don't use it right away and it starts to get old, it's not a slice of meat. It's literally turns into a mush. It looks like a blob of spam. So when that happened, I fried it up same way and I gave it to the chickens to eat because I ain't eating that. But it's a blob. It's literally looks like a piece of bologna. It's disgusting. So that's not even chicken. I don't know what that is. It's pureed cat food that they fry up. They shape up in a slice and you fry it up. So I'm not using that either. I'm just gonna take a piece of chicken and cook a piece of chicken. Um, but yeah, I'm not doing the pork no more. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I've heard that the reason things are full of air is because the factories add gas to the oh god to the product to keep them fresh on the shelf. I hope not. I hope well for the bags, I think so, yeah, but not for the hopefully not for the tubs. Because there's an oxygen absorb. I don't know. I hope not. I hope not. I haven't made bone broth in a minute, well, at all. But my sister made it. I have a crock pot and I have the instant pot, and I know where to get the bones from. So I'm probably gonna get some bones from the health food store. The next time I order beef from the farmer, I'm gonna ask for the bones because they can sell you. I don't know if it's separate, but they can sell you bones. So I'm gonna do that as well. And there's a place that sells chicken. They sell you everything now, even the chicken carcasses. They'll sell it to you. Before it was free, but they got smart that people are using it. So I can get chicken carcasses for bone broth from the farmer. When they cut the meat cuts that people want, they bag up the the chicken bodies like 3 or 4 in a bag, and you just have to buy it by the bag. It's dirt cheap too. So I'm gonna start doing that, and I'm just working on getting a deep freezer. I have just a stand up mini one. This doesn't hold very much, and start to make the broth, and I can pressure can it because that's a skill that we've learned with prepping. I know how to pressure can now, and I'll just pressure can it. So when you cook your rice, I was using the broth, but I don't have any more, and your food tastes 10 times better. But I'm switching from rice. Hey, Shar, I didn't try that brand, but I tried the one from Costco. You and I are Costco. I tried the one from Costco. I can't remember the brand, but it came in a pack of 2 or 3. It wasn't no, it wasn't Butterball. But if Butterball is really turkey, I'll try it. But I don't like it. Turned to a bunch of spam. It was just disgusting. And tell me if it's just me. I find it overly salty. I know bacon's supposed to be salty, but it's just to me because I'm watching my sodium as well. It's good. Okay, I'll try it. You always recommend good stuff to me, to be honest. So I haven't had a problem with what you've recommended. So I'll give it a try. The butterball. Whatever I try was the one from Costco. It was chicken or yeah, I don't know. But I'm looking for some beef bacon or even like the beef. I guess they're hamburger patties, but yeah, it's a lot of salt. I want the ones that are lower sodium, and I don't want no nitrates either. Hey, morning, Jegs. So I'm just trying to work on that, but I know the food pyramid. Everyone's in the uproar about the food pyramid. I think it's a good. The upside down is makes more sense. You get your proteins, you get your vegetables, your fruit. There's low glycemic fruit. There's high like you have to do your own research about all those subcategories yourself. That's not their job to give you all of that. That's between you having a meeting with your doctor or a nutritionist or whoever you're dealing with your health issues to go in depth for you for that. That's not for the general chart because that's going to cause more confusion. I don't think they're even allowed to make recommendations that are overly specific. But I don't know why people are upset that they're telling you to stop eating so much processed food. It doesn't make sense. It's like the parasites in the people are getting upset that they're telling them something good, and they're like, no, 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 no. Like the media is ridiculous. Oh, you're frying up bacon right now. Air fryer beef bacon is fast and takes. Yeah, I don't fry anymore. Don't have you, Jegs? Have you ever tried putting it in the oven? I don't stand there and fry them. When I was frying bacon, that is, I put it on the rack on a rack and put it in the toaster oven, and all the grease just goes down to the bottom, and then you have the nice bacon on the rack. I hated frying bacon. It's just the oil would splash back and burn me. Okay, good. Yeah, that makes sense. George Foreman grill. Yeah, because that frying in a frying pan, those days are old. I used to keep the fat too, the bacon grease, and fry my eggs in them. That was in the bacon, but not anymore. And today I fried I wouldn't say fry, but I cooked my ground chicken for my tacos this week. I made ground beef from the farm, then I had store-bought ground chicken, but I fried it up with the beef tallow. That is another piece of advice that I'm saying. Beef tallow or ghee. One of the two, both. I sometimes use both, depending on what I'm doing, whatever I have handy. But don't use like vegetable oil, corn oil, my opinion. Um, use the high quality stuff. So it's either avocado oil, olive oil. I think they say grapeseed oil is good, but I don't have that. But beef tallow, and or if you want to use pork fat, if that's fine as well, it's better than the other crap. And ghee. I'm telling you, that makes a huge difference. And I just got an always pan from this auction site that so I got an always pan, so I got rid of my other nonstick garbage and just trying to make sure that everything that I'm using is not causing me harm or putting chemicals in my food or, keep it simple, something that you can actually go butter. I use butter as well, but the ghee is clarified butter, has a longer shelf life. I don't have to put it in the refrigerator. It's in the big glass jar, the tub that you buy it in. So it makes it easier. I think you have to really be focusing on what you're cooking with, the fats or the lards that you're cooking with. Crisco is, well, I don't want to say so much about certain companies, but don't use things that you can't just go and make yourself. If you went and bought a bag of milk or a bottle of milk, you can make butter yourself. If you can't, good morning, Sylvia. If you can't do that, good morning, D Macro. If you can't do that, then we really need to question why we're using that to cook our food. It doesn't make sense. And they demonize butter, they demonize fat. You need fat. Cholesterol, you need cholesterol. Cholesterol's in your body for a reason. Do your own research on what it does in the body. And if you have too much cholesterol, it means there's other problems going on that need to be addressed. Don't just go run and take medication. Do your research. They're not explaining to you what is happening. And when you take the medication, you're going to end up with three other problems that they didn't tell you in advance that you're not going to like, which I'm not going to mention, but you can it's easily findable on the internet. So what else about the food pyramid do you guys not like, or what do you think? Let me see. Let me put the picture in front of me so I remember. The meat and the veggies at the top. What's wrong with vegetables? Hold on, let me find it in Instagram. I know other countries are taking a look at it as well. And I watched this lady in Australia, and she said basically it's similar to theirs. Oh, here's his
guidelines recognize that whole nutrient dense food is the most effective path to better health and lower healthcare costs. Protein and healthy fats are essential and were wrongly discouraged in prior dietary guidelines. We are ending the war on saturated fats.
Okay, so
diets rich in vegetables and fruits reduce disease risk more effectively than many drugs. Whole grains.
I'm just looking. Yeah, this seems simplified. To me, and I don't think I'm biased because I don't have a dog in this fight, so it doesn't. Let me see another chart. Give me a second here. Yeah, like I'm looking at an old one from another, and the grains are on top, but they realize that is that's causing a lot of insulin resistance. Protein, dairies, healthy fats. Let me go to another picture. Healthy fat are essential and used daily, but in small amounts. Protein, dairy, and healthy fats. And you can substitute these things for whatever you prefer. If you don't eat dairy, you can find substitutes. I'm sure they'll go into that at some point. Fruits and vegetables, 3 servings a day. Fruits, 2 servings a day. Whole grains, eat less refined carbs. That's makes sense. Less added sugars, more whole grains, 2 to 4 servings a day. Eat real food, less processed food. I don't see the problem with that. Hey, G Mama, sorry, looking down. I don't see the problem with the us who are growing our own food. I don't see that's the problem. If you're a homesteader, that's pretty much kind of like the homesteader diet from before these modern times. And you can buy whole grain breads. Yes, they're more expensive. And I know you can get better flour if you want to make your own bread from scratch. I see people doing sourdough, but I'm not going to do that. That's a little bit too much work. Let me see what this person
The new
says.
food pyramid just dropped, and as a Chinese medicine doctor, I actually love it. What stands out most is a return to real food. More whole, minimally processed foods and less ultra processed noise. And this shift is grounded in recent nutrition research showing that diets built on whole foods support metabolic health, reduce chronic disease risk, and stabilize blood sugar and energy. And this is exactly how Chinese medicine has approached nutrition for thousands of years.
Hmm.
And in Chinese medicine, TCM, food is medicine. We focus on simple, home cooked meals that protect digestion, nourish qi, which is your energy, and blood, and support the body without shocking it. Vegetables, whole grains, clean proteins, and healthy fats give the body what it needs to regulate itself. This pyramid isn't about restriction or trends. It's about nourishment, sustainability, and eating closer to the source, principles that Chinese nutrition has always followed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. The
So
new
that's
food
Dr.
pyramid just
Felice
dropped, and it's a
Chan on Instagram. And I'm looking at the chart. That's how I'm eating now. So that's how I've been eating heavily for the last few weeks, trying to make sure that I'm aging properly. I don't want to have this inflammation. And what I've noticed from 1 second here. Okay, thanks, Shar. I notice is that people get stiffer as they're older, and we kind of link that, oh, you're older, that's what happens. You're stiff, you can't move around as well. But a lot of the stiffness is the inflammation and lack of exercise, which is why I'm been pretty much working out every morning since last summer, almost every morning. The orange man. I think I the problem I'm having with again, I don't have a dog in the fight. The problem I really have is that everything is so party driven. It's ridiculous. So if the party in power is not the party that you like, whatever they say, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, you're against it. You need to scrutinize the actual information. I don't have a problem if you like this and like that, but don't be not liking it because it's from them. That doesn't make any sense. And even the party that you voted for, if it was in power, if they do something wrong or that's not wise, you should be able to say that and say, I don't agree with that. That's not a good move. I don't think we should be blindly with these, you're this party or that party. That makes no sense. I don't mind this health minister because this is the healthiest minister that I've seen in a long time. And this is an older person. And he actually, I think, has a six pack or some kind of pack. Like, he's muscular, he's fit, he can run him. That man can outrun me. I can tell you that right now. That man, if we're doing a marathon, I wouldn't even last. He would outrun me. That speaks to something to me, whether I agree with the politics or not. Let the people them do their job and stop, But anyways, just I don't think that what this food pyramid is harmful to the public, in my opinion. I don't think it's harmful to your children. I don't think it's harmful to society. And if people are eating more whole foods, that's going to help your own food industry because people are going to start buying from, and right now local grown food is a big thing. Local farming, the American farmers and ranchers are really promoting buying from them. You're going to buy your food from them. They're going to be more uh they're already growing healthy food, the ones that are, and the ones that aren't. But that will help the economy because now they can grow more of the healthy food because you're buying it, you're eating it, you're talking about it, it tastes better to you. It's going to help everything locally do better. Not so many imports, especially since there's so much tariffs anyways. Support your local farmers. Adding good fat to a diet already saturated in bad fat may not be helpful. Well, it depends what fat you're using. We should add what's good and remove what's not good. Yeah. Okay. Like Erin mentioned, find good replacements. Do not change your fat that you cook with. That's for sure. Let me see what G Mama is saying. Hold on, I'm behind. I want to make sure of my own fermented foods, but the way my apartment is unregulated temperature, which isn't good for fermenting. I have the jars for fermenting with that thing at the top that you put the water in because I was fermenting the chicken feed, which didn't last long because I didn't need that fancy bottle to ferment the chicken feed. I just needed to whatever. So I'm doing it the regular way. But I do have that, and I do want to make fermented food. I know sauerkraut would be a lot cheaper if I did it myself. I like kimchi, but I don't really want too much kimchi. The smell is just a bit much. Whenever I open it up, hours later, people come by and be like, "What's that stink?" It's not my house; it's the kimchi. Sorry, like it just has a smell. So I prefer sauerkraut, and I do want to make my own kombucha. Kombucha is not cheap, and I like it a lot. But I'm gonna start making my own kombucha, and I know many of you have made it. I have the stuff, just haven't got to it yet. But what I did get to this week from the auction, I'm buying from this auction, I got a water distiller because I have a lot of medical equipment that needs distilled water. Even your home appliances, your iron, your clothes steamer, those things get calcified because of the tap water. So I use distilled water, the CPAP machine, the diffuser with the essential oils. Um, there's several things that I use distilled water for. Oh, the hydroponics. I use it for the hydroponics, which is a lot. 1 gallon is gone in with one unit, no problem. And then the 5 gallon one, 5 gallons right there is gone. So it now justified me getting a distiller. It's a slow process, but if you do it overnight, you can do a gallon a day until you're caught up. But the water, oh my goodness. The tap water tastes completely different. Just it tastes clean. So I don't drink distilled water just so I put some salt in it. I don't really want to be drinking it per se, but I did make my plant-based milk with that water. The water tastes clean. Oh my goodness. Clean. Yes, because I see Lashes who's very active despite her age and is healthier now than she was all through her young. I'm telling you, it makes a difference. So being active is what I'm working on. Use the discernment God gave you. Yes, amen. Use your discernment. Some people don't have it, but use your discernment and ask him for it if you don't have it. She proves that we don't have to be stiff. You don't have to be stiff. Let me just I just told family that need to exercise to keep moving. Older folks are so set. That's why they're stiff. It's not because you're older, it's because you're not active. And that's what I realized. I'm like, okay, so I'm not flexible like, gymnasts, but bending down to pick up something off the floor and not tipping over is you got to work on that. It's great for you, but yeah, that's use my garden to exercise. Yes, use your garden to exercise, but just add a bit more. When I say a bit more, I'm not telling you to go be a bodybuilder, but there's certain movements that they recommend. This is on Instagram too. So one lady does this movement like you bend down, you go down on the ground, sit down, and you get back up. And the goal is to do it without using your hands. So obviously at first you may use one arm to kind of get up. If you can't go down on the ground and get back up, that's not good in terms of if you fall down as an older person, can you get back up on your own or will you be laying there until somebody finds you? So there's certain exercises that they're recommending not for bodybuilding but just for core strength, leg strength, even bending down to pick up something. And I know they recommend like carrying 2 jugs in both arms, like the bucket thing, and that keeps you strong to do everyday chores and everyday like we got to shovel snow here. Some people can't shovel snow because of their age, because of their heart. That's different than not being able to because you physically can't move your arm. You can't do the motion of the shovel. There's certain things that you should be able to do until a certain point. Then it's just not wise. But a lot of people can't even bend down and pick up something. They can't get down to the ground, kneel down, and then get back up. Never mind sitting down. It's a skill they're trying to incorporate in everyday living so that when you're older and you're living independently, you're able to take care of yourself. And if you do lose your balance, you're able to catch yourself or fall correctly and get back up. A lot of problems with older people is hip cracking, breaking. I have sauerkraut, and you can change the fish sauce in kimchi to fit. Okay, there's one lady that's doing kimchi. No, she's doing sauerkraut, but I think she's doing both. She's a raw food lady. I don't eat raw food, but I follow their recipes because they give good recipes for the plant-based stuff. But I forgot what she does. She makes kimchi and sauerkraut herself because she doesn't like it as fermented as you get it in the store. She likes it a little less fermented and more crunch to it. So she's making it herself and it's cheaper. What's her channel name? Whitney something. I think it's Whitney Peoples. She is now training for a marathon. I like her content, and she has a daughter, so they're showing their lives. Our elders get into a routine and think that that's it. I started exercising in the morning, and I'm less sluggish now, and I'm helping my your blood circulation. What do they call that thing when your feet, you can't feel so much in your feet? What do you call it? What do you call it? Some word, anyways. It's circulation problem. Fermented food can be made to your taste versus how they taste in the store. Hold on. I'm on the wrong one. You need to get your heart going and your lungs pumping at least 15 minutes. Yes, and I heard that you're also supposed to that there's another, I don't know if it's a heartbeat or something in your calf. And if you have your legs strong and your calves strong, that will help also pump your body properly. I don't know what it's called. You guys are doctors and nurses, you know more than me, but there's something in your calf. And they're starting to get people to do more leg exercises. Kombucha is on sale at Costco this week, 18 for 19.99. I'm supposed to go there later. I haven't gone there yet. I like it more crunchy. Okay. Nepathy. Yeah, I know. Neuropathy. That's the word. Something. I know what you meant now that you typed it. Can you make kombucha and it better? Yes, I haven't done it. So I know I have a video from Dan's Food Forest Permaculture, but I think it's just Dan's Food Forest now, but I know him from before. He had a video and I saved it on a list, and somebody else did a video. And I know Sherry's Remedy Room, she did a ginger bug recently, and she did it before, but even that, the ginger bug, I'm gonna try that. There's simple things that you can do. I love adding caraway seeds to my sauerkraut. I never had caraway seeds. We had them in the house, but we never used them. Yeah, some kind of numbness. Hey, Jason, good morning. That's it. She spelled it properly down there. Neuropathy. So please make an effort. I've been working out, and I wouldn't say working out. I've been exercising since last summer. And there's been a few times where I haven't been feeling 100%. You may have, PMS, you have cramps, you don't feel like working out. But for the most part, I've been very consistent. I had a pain in my shoulder. It got a little bit worse, but now it's better that I changed my diet. And my thumb is doing much better. I'm using the weighted vest. And once the weather is warmer, maybe like in March, we're going to be walking back outside again and walking outside. But we've used the indoor winter season. We haven't made an excuse. So what I do is with my friend, my sister, we have a group chat on and we do a video call. Whoever doesn't wake up doesn't log into the video call. So we put our phones somewhere where you can see that you're working out, and then we synchronize the video that we're going to do on the TV. And we, so I'm at 1 minute mark before it starts. Okay, we pause the video. We're like, okay, synchronize, 3, 2, 1. We play the video. We mute the video chat so you can't hear each other, and then we just exercise, and then we're all on the camera. So the last few weeks it's been just the two of us. They're not showing up. But we still do it in the group chat so that they can see and maybe be remotivated. And we've been doing it with the weights, sometimes without the weights. Today was a lot of squats. Oh my goodness, I hated that one. Juice and Toya video. I like them, but I hate them when I'm doing it because I'm like, why are you squatting so much? It's too much work. So I did that. And once we're outside, I'm going to do the outside walking with the weighted vest. And then we're going to do the tension bands and do the exercise with the tension bands. And then we're going to do the pull-ups. We tried, but we weren't very good because it's a lot to pull up your own weight. Pull-ups and stuff like that. And it's making a big, hey, Shauna, I didn't even see you there. No, I figured it out. It's the neuropathy. Oh, good morning, Auntie. Did I say that to you already? Stiffness is why I move at a snail's pace, but I move. I'm 61 with chronic arthritis, but I move about daily. The herbs have aided me. Yes, I definitely believe that. And Keep exercising. Even if it's a little bit painful, try to move the body. Once you move it, it has to loosen up. What happens is, again, not medical advice. When you start to force the movement, not forcing it in terms of, oh, I'm going to snap. No, gentle forcing, gradual, like physiotherapy, gently. Especially if you do the pool aerobics. I took my mom to that when she was doing better, and that would help her move. And then you're lubricating your joints, and you're getting, your body can reach those areas again. And before you know it, she was walking more straight, not humping over, and a lot of things that were happening as a result of using the Aquafit. Um, Exercise at night to help me sleep. Whatever works for you. Whatever routine you can stick to, do whatever work. I do it in the morning because that's better for me. Because if I don't do it in the morning, it's not going to get done. Then I feed the chickens, and then I take care of my stuff. Next time I'm going to do it. I usually feed the chickens first, but because the sunrise is so late now of the season, I work out first and then feed the chickens. But I'll flip that again once the sun goes back to rising early. Um, Feverfew tea is also good for migraines, inflammation, menstrual cramps, digestive issues. I don't think I've ever tried that tea, but I'll look it up because I got my herb book, so I'll look it up. Some herbs, I don't see them very, very easily in certain stores. That's the problem. You have to like go around all over the place. My ginger bug sat out so long it turned into vinegar. That's good. Can't you use it for something? Can't you use it to make something? But yeah, if it's too long, it turns to vinegar. I think you have to do something to stop it. Don't ask me though. I haven't made it yet. That's great for motivation and accountability. Great job to you. Yeah, that's what we do. Accountability. So they and I'm like, are you still doing it? Are you taking a break? Are you have water? um, you reminded me. I need to strain my fireside, and that is a good thing too. Fire cider. I got a bad sinus cold this last December. This December, man. But that tea and those herbs helped me, and I had made the fermented garlic with the honey. My jar is almost finished. I made 4 jars, one for each member of my family, including me. So 4. My jar is half empty. I was taking it every day like I should, and I still got sick. They didn't get sick, and their jars. I'm like, why aren't you taking it as a preventative? Oh yeah, yeah. So next time I'm not making them nothing. Make it for myself. But I made the fermented garlic, and it tastes delicious. I like it. The garlic is sweet. It's not garlicky because it's been sitting in the honey for 6 to 8 weeks, now longer. And I'm gonna make fire cider next time. And I'm gonna make. There's something else that I saw them making. Anyways, I don't know. But look at Sherry's channel for that. She does those stuff, so she'll give you the recipes. Um, I had a neurologist recommend the feverfew tea, good for arthritis too. They recommended it to you? Wow. Because they don't recommend nothing natural. That's a good doctor. That's a very good doctor. Being doing walk at home videos. Yeah, I left walking at home, and I went to get fit with Rick, and I went to another person. But you know what? I'm back to walking at home videos. There's some newer videos that they have out there that I like. So I'm back on theirs. But walking from home is a YouTube channel, and they do videos and you're walking at home. Yeah, cool. I'm telling you, that kept me from getting too big. Because you're working from home and you're just at home and you're not. When I went to the office the other day, well, not the other day, a few months ago, oh my goodness, I was huffing and puffing. Every day you would go to work and walk up and down and get to the building and this and that, and it became nothing. Now to go back and do that now, even though I'm active, I was huffing and puffing. And that's the danger about working from home. If you don't keep active and intentional about your activity, you'll wither into you may not put on weight, but your muscle tone will get soft, your bone density, which is also important when you're aging. That's why a lot of women are wearing the weighted vests. Bone density. Do your research and start to incorporate these things. You may think, oh, it's not doing anything. It is. You want to age gracefully. You don't want to be in a wheelchair and a walker at a young age. There's people that I see in their 70s and 80s, and they do not use a cane. They do not use a walker. They did not put on too much weight. They kept their weight balanced, and they keep active. They do the stairs. they're still driving. You have to put in the effort now. It's not what you do in your 60s, what you do in your 40s. Then, you keep doing it, because if you wait till your 60s, you'll always get improvement, but it may be a bit more difficult. Let me see here. They have herbal infusions on sale right now, $100 at that. Okay, well, check the vendor. Some vendors don't allow anybody else to sell their products on that platform. Just check, because some vendors don't allow that, which is good, so that you're only getting products through their online entity on the website. But just be careful, because I'm hearing a lot about fraud stuff and counterfeit stuff, and you don't want to be taking something that's not what it is. Um, I know someone who gets a lot of migraines too, um, debilitating migraines, and refuse to pharmaceutical at this point. So I don't think the medication for her worked. She has to be in a dark room for day. Like, it's bad. Her migraines are bad. So I'll look into that. A fever few. I've never. Yeah, be careful when you're buying things on that store. Right now, I'm looking to upgrade my seed starting station. I have to make everything more automated. I said that last week, and I'm working on it. So all I'm doing is overtime, because I don't do overtime anymore. But I haven't done that since 2020. But now I'm doing overtime, so that money's going right into gardening, hydroponic, and stuff. Because if I'm not here to turn on certain things, it's not going to get turned on. If I have to go travel, it's not going to be turned on. If I'm not feeling well, so I have to make everything automated. So right now, the hydroponics is fine, but the problem is when the power chips in and out, which does happen. I don't know why. Someone has to come and reset it. But for the most part, I want the lights on a timer. I want to get the extension cord with the timing option. I want some fans on the shelf with timers. And I'm going to work on putting the deep water culture on a timer outlet so that it's on all day. Or I don't know, it depends on the timer setting, or just like 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, because it running around the clock is just trying to cut down some of the expenses and see how minimal I can go but still get good results. And then I'm going to upgrade for the girls outside, the chickens. I need to get an automatic door opening closer. But these girls don't go to bed at the same time sometimes. Last night was like 5:20, which is like 30 minutes later than usual. So I can tell the days are getting longer. That's how I know before it's really obvious, because they tell you by when they go to bed. So I locked the tunnel, and then I went and I happened to pick up something, and I saw one girl in the tunnel, quiet as a mouse. I'm like, "You're not going to say nothing?" And I opened the door to let her to go to bed. She would have been out in the cold all night, freezing, chicken nugget. So she got to bed. But I want something that's automated, and I want a couple of cameras in the back so I can see if anyone's in the run, and I count how many of them pass by the camera in the coop. So I'm working on that. I'll get some videos on that. But don't get me started with automation of the watering. Yes, I need to get something to automate the watering. I don't know if that can happen. I think it could happen this season. But I'm doing the seed starting first, because that's what I'm working on right now. Cleaning up everything, wiping the shelves down. I have too much extra junk and clutter that you think you're going to use and you never use. It's just too much stuff. So I'm going to go get that organized. I have some empty totes in the garage. I'm going to put things in totes neatly, label the tote so I know where to find certain things. And if I don't need it this season, I'll put it away. If I need it, I'm going to pull it out, use it, wash it, put it away. It's just making it, too much. We were fit walking on the I'm telling you. Now, caused me to have migraine. That's funny you mentioned that, because I tell people I don't like MS. I don't like that. I try to buy things that don't have MSG in there. I know it's causing problems. I have to be careful of what I eat. I stopped eating out, and the migraine stopped, because some people don't believe that MSG causes a problem, and I know it causes a problem, especially for somebody in my household. She used to get all these different things, and I said we need to stop eating MSG. And MSG is in every can. Every canned food had MSG. So we had to do a lot of stuff ourselves. That's how this kind of started. And then the eczema as well. We had to stop eating the dairy. I ran my pumps for 45 minutes every 3 hours, not 20. I'm telling you, running around the clock. And then I have a pump here that it's so loud and annoying. I did a video on the item, but I'm going to put it up, but tell you guys it's loud, it's annoying. But you get what you pay for. But yeah, I'm going to run it on a cycle. I think running around the clock is just too much. So that's what I'm working on. But I'm glad I got that seed station started. What I'm also trying to figure out is I know the hydroponics have 3 settings, like leafy greens and then another one and then like fruiting and flowering, whatever, 3 settings. What I'm noticing is that on the greens, I was starting it with the greens, then I would move it to another setting on my own. I think the white light does not do your leafy greens that well. I think the leafy green, which has like the blue lights and the red, like it's more like bowling alley looking. I think those lighting is better for your greens. That's what I'm coming to notice. I think I was messing up and they weren't getting chlorophyll, they were turning yellow. So I'm working on the lighting because I think that's what's even my kale that I have in the soil over there that I had for my outdoor garden that I never planted. It's the leaves are dropping like flies. And then one batch of soil in another pot that has a cabbage, 3 mushrooms popped out of the soil. So I don't know what's happening. And this is soil. Something's happening. And I'm trying to figure out the mix because it's not really working. And maybe I'm overwatering. But there's a hole in the container. It goes down into the other one and it holds the water at the bottom. But the actual container is drained out. But I think I need more fans, more airflow because why is it so mushroomy inside? Anyways, that's the lesson for today. So to summarize today's lesson and today's talk, because it's been an hour, I got to go to Costco and clean the chicken coop. The food pyramid, I don't have a problem with the food pyramid. I think it's a good general recommendation. You have to go deeper yourself, but I think the focus on not eating processed foods, eating whole foods, whole grains, and in some cases, one ingredient foods is better for all of us, and buying locally and changing the fat that you're cooking with and how you process your own food. Like, are you frying it? No. Um, Jag is using the George Foreman grill that helps the fat drip away. There's certain things that you should do in a certain way. It's better for you overall. There's no shortcuts, and eating food from restaurants, we can't trust what they're doing or what they're putting in our food. So coming away from processed food is the best advice. I don't know why they're so angry about it, but that just shows you, are they looking out for the best interests of the people? Because if they are, they shouldn't be upset about it. Let's stop eating processed food and recommend whole foods. Let me just read the chat and then we'll wrap it up. I read an article about the side effects of MSG. I never had a headache. I was going out to eat at work for lunch and started having headaches. They started getting worse. I would have to leave work. Mm-hmm. You gave me a great idea, the bowling alley. Yeah, that's it's great for exercise, hand-eye coordination, and weight. Like, I'm telling you, I love bowling. Yeah. Um, and also, hold on, the mushrooms are responding to moisture in the air and can be controlled. You know what? But I don't think it's moist because it's so cold over here in Toronto, but it probably is some moisture up here. It's probably cold and dampish, but it's not damp enough to make it. But I don't have the humidifier on. Okay, I'll have to figure out. There's too much moisture. I got to figure out which is why people have a grow tent so they can have a grow tent and control the environment in the tent. I'm relying on the whole living room. That's probably the problem. I'm gonna have to get a grow tent and get the equipment to make that a safer environment for the plants. It was a long process to find that MSG was the problem. My doctor asked me about my diet and we went from there. Thank God they figured it out because some people are suffering. I'm gonna tell that lady maybe it's the MSG. It could be. It's in everything. All right, guys, have a blessed day. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. I'll see you in the week in the different chats. But I should be live again next week. But please, please, bone broth powder, look into it. MCT powder or the oil, look into it. And some gentle exercises. As we mentioned in the chat, Charlene, walk from home. Just go on YouTube. There's a channel it's called Walk from Home, and it has different videos, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour of just walking from home on the spot. Some of them play nice music, some of them play, modern music, old fashioned music. Just do, I'm telling you, it'll change your life. Your garden is your exercise, but you need more intentional exercise to raise your heart rate and to get your the blood flowing. And that will help you with insulin resistance, getting your muscles engaged to burn off the calories. They, they said on a video, which I'll talk about next time, that if you walk after you eat dinner for even 20 minutes, your sugar will not spike as high because your muscles are now engaged. So I'm recommending the walk from home. Okay, guys, take care.